What's going on, everyone? I'm Patrick Shawn. I'm an artist in Montgomery, Alabama, and the other day I posted on Facebook that if you're getting rid of anything, send me a picture and I'll let you know if it's something that I want to paint. Now, it is the internet, so I got a lot of really weird responses, but one that stuck out to me was a box of old records. Painting records isn't anything new. I've seen other artists do it before, but I haven't done it and I think it's a really cool idea. So in this video, I'll be taking 3 vinyl records and turning them into art. Okay, for this first record, I'm just going to be testing my acrylics, so we're going to do a really simple design and get it knocked out really quick. For all these records, I'll be doing a spiraled background. On the first one, I'll do white and blue, and for this painting, I'll be doing a nature theme, something quick and easy to test my paints on this surface. Alright, this first record's done, so we'll move on to the second one, which is going to be a little more complex. I'll have to use transfer paper, so we'll see how that does on the surface of these records. For this second vinyl record, I'm sketching out a skull, and this sketch is going to serve 2 purposes. I was commissioned to sketch a skull for someone's tattoo, so I'll knock out this and then send it over to them. Now that my sketch is done, I'll bring it into Procreate, clean it up a bit so I can print it out and transfer it onto my vinyl. While working on this sketch, I realized I've only painted one skull before, which is a little odd because I used to draw and sketch skulls all the time. But the only skull I've painted so far is the cartoony one that I did in my last video. So let me know in the comments what you think about this painting and if you think I should do more like this one. Huge shout out to Columbia Records for making a vinyl that I could paint over. Before I start transferring the skull onto this record, I'll need to paint a white background, otherwise I won't be able to see it. After painting these white layers, I'll clean up my work area and get started transferring. After transferring the skull onto this record, I'm going to put down a yellow wash so it can seal in the graphite. That way I don't smear my transfer. Then I can get started on the background and the rest of my painting. I chose a black and gray background because I feel that contrast is going to help the yellow, beige, and brown really stand out for this skull. Patience is probably the most important thing I've learned while developing my art skills, and paintings like this one are great for testing that patience. First, I have to lay down a foundation of color and then build these layers up one by one. I have to let each layer dry before I can start working over it, or else the paint won't be fully set and it can move, shift, or even peel off. Then I'd have to go back and fix it, which would cost me more time and frustration. That's why I love using acrylics. This paint dries quickly, and if it takes longer than I want it to, I can just hit it with a hairdryer to speed things up. I couldn't imagine using oil paints. I always hear people talking about how they blend so easily or they're able to do so much with them, but they can take forever to dry. I can blend my paints just fine, and I'm way too impatient for a medium like that. I'm too impatient for acrylics sometimes. Once I can relax and get into a rhythm, painting's almost like therapy for me. It helps me let go of stress, I stop thinking about things that worry me, and I can focus on all this beautiful work that I'm able to create while adding to my skills as an artist. For some reason, these big rings of paint bother me more than the random splotches, so after each record is done, I scrape them up as best as I can. Alright, the second vinyl's done, so I can move on to the third and final record. For this one, it's a concept I've never done before, so I'm going to figure it out as I go, and by the time I'm done, it should look incredible. I'm going to use the same sheet of transfer paper from the skull painting. One thing that's great about using transfer paper is that you can reuse the same sheet several times before it stops working. Once I'm done, I'll use a beige wash to seal the graphite. For this character, I'm planning on using purple and magenta as the primary colors. So for this background, I'll use complementary colors and paint the spiral with blue and green. While painting this last record, I noticed that it's taking me a little more time than usual. I'm working on different shading techniques, trying to decide how much detail to use, and just figure out the best way to approach this painting overall. Eventually, the best thing for me to do was to just get out of my own head, stop trying to overthink it, and just paint. I work in so many different art styles, I paint so many random objects, and I'm always doing something I've never done before. So because of that, it's easy for me to start overthinking, and anytime I'm overthinking a painting, I start creating this anxiety in the back of my mind that makes me feel like I'm gonna do something to mess this up. There were several times that I wanted to just stop working on this painting. I kept thinking this character looked amazing as is, how I didn't want to ruin it, or that I didn't want to spend time working on a painting that wasn't gonna work out. But I really like the idea and concept that I have in mind, which is to paint this character transferring her face into her palm. So I decided to just go for it. Once I let go of that feeling and anxiety, I stopped worrying so much and I started getting more confident about how this piece was turning out. And I started enjoying it more than dreading it. That's why my goal lately has been to stop overthinking every painting, stop overthinking every video. I could spend all day in my head thinking about things and trying to plan them out. But when I get up and start doing it, it becomes reality, and either it works or it doesn't, and no matter what happens, I can move on to the next one when it's done. And now that all of these are done, let's take a few last looks at the final results. That's it for these vinyl records. These paintings are done, and I love the way each of them turned out. I've got space to hang all of them next to the octopus, which leaves me space for 3 more, so I'll probably be doing another vinyl video very soon. You can check these out at pdshawn.com, and when they sell, I'll just paint more stuff to hang up for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and comment below to let me know what art piece you're working on. As always, a huge thank you to all of my patrons for supporting my studio and my channel. If you want to support this channel also, go to patreon.com/pdshawn, where you can get exclusive merchandise, behind the scenes content, and discounts on my website. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.